Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the online class of Programming Fundamentals Summer 2020. This is going to be the second class. Before starting our class, let's have a recap of our last lecture. In the last lecture, we discussed what is programming languages. Then we discussed the types of programming languages. We discussed the translation software, in which we discussed assembler. These was the topics that we discussed in the last lecture. Now moving towards today's class, we will further explain the translation software, or simply we call it translators. So today's topic we're going to start from translators. As I told you, we have basically three types of translators used. One is assemblers. The second one is interpreter. Third one is compiler. So these are the basic three types of translators used in programming languages. This one is used in assembly language. While moving towards the second and third type of translator, interpreter and compiler, both are used in a high level languages. They are used in high level languages. This one was used in assembly language, that is considered to be a low level language. Okay, like assembler, these two are also translator. What is translator? The main task of translator is to convert a code written in one form into another form, or in simply words we can say a code written in any programming language into machine language. Then what is a machine language? A language consists of zeros and ones that a machine can understand. Okay, a translator, or simply say, you can say a type of translator that is used. Basically, interpreter is used only in a high level languages, that is used to convert the code written in high level language into machine language. Yes, that was the definition. But what is the difference between the assembler and interpreter, or in the compiler? There's a slight difference in these types. In the machine language, in line by line, keep this in mind, line by line manner. इस पे बात करते हैं. Say for example we have a source code. सोर्स कोड पे बात करते हैं. सोर्स कोड किसे कहते हैं या ऑब्जेक्ट कोड किसे कहते हैं, इस पे मैं आपको डिटेल में बात करता हूँ. आप किसी प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज में बात कर रहे थे 1 2 3 and 4. अब आप इसको इंटरप्रेटर के थ्रू जब कंपाइल करते हैं तो इंटरप्रेटर आपके पास इसको लाइन बाय लाइन मैनर में कन्वर्ट करेगा. किस में कन्वर्ट करेगा? ये ह्यूमन अंडरस्टैंडेबल फॉर्म है. जिस हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज के कोड को या ह्यूमन अंडरस्टैंडेबल फॉर्मेट को हम सोर्स कोड कहते हैं. दिस इज बेसिकली सोर्स कोड. सोर्स कोड, अब अगर हम इंटरप्रेटर के थ्रू इसको ट्रांसलेट करते हैं, इसको इंटरप्रेट करते हैं, तो वो एक एक लाइन को उठा के उसके एप्रोप्रिएट मशीन कोड में कन्वर्ट करता है. सो सच काइंड ऑफ मैकेनिज्म जो यूज होता है वो है इंटरप्रेटर में यूज होता है, और इंटरप्रेटर हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज में यूज होते हैं. सो कहने का मतलब ये हुआ कि अ ट्रांसलेटर दैट इज यूज्ड टू कन्वर्ट कोड रिटन इन व्हाट लैंग्वेज? इन हाई लेवल लैंग्वेज. into machine language, that is the binary, the 1 and the 0 form, stream of bits. In what type of action it takes? It converts the row code in line by line manner. It takes one line at a time, converts the line and generate the machine code for that line. So this was all about the interpreter. Still, if you have questions, you can ask in the comments, or you can wait for the online question answer session. Inshallah, I'll sort out all your problems in that. Now moving towards the third type, that is the compiler. As I told you, it's also a type of translator that is used in the high level language. On the one shot. What does it means? It means if we have, let me give you examples. A compiler translator that converts the code written in high level language into machine language in one shot. What does it means? It means if you have a program or a source code of 5 lines, there are 5 lines in a source code like in this program. So if we are using a language that basically works on the compiler will not take a line by line manner. No, compiler will take the entire program and it will compile the program collectively, and if there are some errors in the lines, the compiler once it converts the code, it will display the error message that the user having errors in line number 3 and line number 4. But the basic theme of using compiler, that it collects in the entire program and converts the entire program in one shot, while in the interpreter case, interpreter takes one line at a time, then converts that line, then the second line, the third line. So basically the basic difference in interpreter and compiler is the style of execution. In interpreter basically converts in the line by line fashion, and compiler takes the entire program and converts the entire program at a time. Okay, this was the basic definitions of the two translators that is used in the high level languages. Moving towards the examples, if we take it, the examples, it is used in the Visual Basic language, Basic All Symbolic Instruction Code language, etc. These languages basically used interpreter, while if we move towards the compiler, so there are many languages like Python, like the language that we will discuss, C, C++, C#, etc. So lots of languages. Now one important question in the mind, that which one is better? Well, every translator like interpreter has its own plus points or demerits, and the compiler has the same, but most of the programmers says that the compiler is much faster as compared to interpreter, and it is much reliable and efficient as compared to interpreter, but it's not the thumb rule. Interpreter has its own advantages, while in the other hand compiler has its own advantages. So it depends आपको किस environment में किसको यूज करना पड़ेगा. अच्छा, ये तो बात हो गई ट्रांसलेटर के बारे में. ये थोड़ा सा बैकग्राउंड उस दिन रह गया था. नाउ मूविंग टुवर्ड्स आज का जो दूसरा, इसमें हम कंसेप्ट्स के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. कंसेप्ट्स का क्या मतलब है, थोड़े से हम जिसको हम टर्मिनोलॉजीज भी कह सकते हैं, टर्मिनोलॉजीज ऑफ प्रोग्रामिंग हम थोड़ी सी डिस्कस करेंगे. सो बेसिकली स्टार्टिंग विद द एनवायरनमेंट से स्टार्ट करते हैं. आपके पास जो सिंपल पहली चीज आपको सीखनी चाहिए है, दैट इज द डेटा टाइप. डेटा टाइप क्या होता है, या आप सिंपल अल्फाज में अगर मैं इसको सिंपली कह दूं कि डेटा, तो डेटा आपके पास अगर हम इसको नॉर्मल जो डेफिनेशन लोग करते हैं, रॉ फैक्ट्स एंड फिगर्स उन्होंने इसको हम क्या कहते हैं, डेटा रॉ फैक्ट्स एंड फिगर्स को कहते हैं। दूसरे अल्फाज में हम इसको, ये इसका पहला पॉइंट हुआ। सेकेंड पॉइंट वुड बी अनप्रोसेस्ड फॉर्म होता है, डेटा अनप्रोसेस्ड फॉर्म होता है। थर्ड पॉइंट नॉट मीनिंगफुल, and last one, data cannot be used for decision making. So this was the basic some points regarding data. The data is basically the raw facts and figures. It's the unprocessed form. For example, if you have data like this, I have 4, I have 4, 0, 3, 2, 5, 1. So it is a data. We cannot decide, we cannot say that what is this. It is unprocessed form. It is an unprocessed form. It's not processed, not meaningful. There is no meaning of this, and we cannot use this for decision making. But if you write 0, we process this data 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now it is giving some meaning as compared to this. As we process this list, we sorted out in the we sorted out these numbers, so we get this list. So the basic understanding that you people should know that it is basically the raw facts and figures. It cannot be used for decision making. It's not in meaningful form, and it's in unprocessed form. This is basically the basic definition of data. Okay. If we discuss the types of data, so we can say there are basically 3 simple types of data that we will discuss in this lecture. The first type is integer data. The second one is float, or in some books it is the real data, and the third one is character data. So these are the basic 3 types of data. We have lots of modifiers, इसमें modifiers भी हैं लेकिन अगर हम उसकी बेसिक टाइप्स को हम डिस्कस करें तो डेटा आपके पास या तो करेक्टर होगा, या फ्लोट होगा, या इंटीजर होगा. ओके, इंटीजर वो फॉर एग्जांपल वो जैसे कि 1, 2, 3, 4, 0 is an integer, -2, these all are integer data. And if we define integer data having no decimal point, the numbers that don't have mantissa, they don't have any decimal number in it, is known as the integer data or integral data. Moving towards the second type, that is the float data. If you take the examples of this, so for example 2.5, 3.0, these all are the examples of the float data that have the mantissa part in the number. This is actually this is the integer part, and this is 0.5 is the mantissa part, or in simple, having a decimal in a number is known as basically the float part. Now the third, moving towards the third type of data, that is the character data. So basically characters if I explain to you that A to Z, small a to Z special numbers, that is special characters, all the symbols, that इसको हम symbols भी कह सकते हैं, the symbols like for example this is a character data, a set of character data, hash, the question mark, the percent symbol, the less, the greater, all these symbols are the types of character data. So we as we have discussed the types of data, still have questions. You can ask your questions and queries in the comment section. Now why I have discussed this data, as we know that we are going to study programming fundamentals, and that means the students will be able to do programming. So in programming we need to store some data, so the student must have the background that what type of data can we store in a program, and for what type of data we need what kind of resources. So all these the student must know these things. Now for example, starting with a variable. What is a variable? A variable basically, in a simple words, we can display name given to a memory location in RAM. This is known as a variable. Let me give you a fresh let me sum. It's not that variable, some people will say that variable basically is a kind of thing that changes its value. Yes, change some values, but it's a memory location, name given to a memory location. I am creating a basket. It is a basket. In the first pan I can put some of mangoes, I can add some apples. If मैंने से मैंगोज निकाल दिए, फिर मैं इसमें एप्पल डाल लेता हूँ. A variable is just like a basket. A variable is just like a basket. It stores your values. It basically stores your data into those baskets. These values are stored into RAM. When you saved a program, the data of program is, when you save a program into a hard disk, then the data is written on that specific location, the address that you have stored your file. But in a program, if you are writing and doing programming and you want to store some data, you will have to use the variable. So what is a variable? A variable is name given to memory locations. We are going to use lots of variables in our programming in order to store data in our variables. Let me give you the brief difference between these variables. As we have three types of data, the basic types are integer, float and character. So we use different types of variables. Integer variable that basically used to store integer data. For example, if a user is interested to store 20 in his programming, he needs to have an integer variable that is going to store this 20 for that user. So what I have to do, understand the general syntax. First you have to write the type of variable, then space, variable name, and then ended with a semicolon. This is general syntax of declaring a variable. How to declare a variable, और in simple अल्फाज में हम एक वेरिएबल को बनाएंगे कैसे? पहले आपने उस वेरिएबल के लिए उसकी टाइप को मेंशन करना है, फिर आपने उस वेरिएबल को नाम देना है. अच्छा जी, सो एज आई टोल्ड यू कि मैंने क्या 20 स्टोर करना है. तो बेसिकली 20 आपके पास क्या है? एक इंटीजर वेरिएबल है. उसके लिए जो हम कीवर्ड यूज करते हैं दैट इज इंट. क्या यूज करते हैं? इंट स्पेस, और उसका नाम मैंने इसका नाम मैंने रख दिया ए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जैसे कि मैंने आपको बताया था कि यूजर इज इंटरेस्टेड टू स्टोर 20 इन एज ए प्रोग्राम. ये 20 की टाइप क्या है? इंटीजर टाइप है, इसमें कोई डेसिमल पॉइंट नहीं है. सो डेफिनेटली वी विल हैव टू डिक्लेयर एन इंटीजर वेरिएबल. सो हाउ टू डिक्लेयर एन इंटीजर वेरिएबल? वी यूज द कीवर्ड int. int is a predefined word, is a keyword. Basically keywords are the words that are predefined to compiler. If the compiler understands the meaning of this int, so int will declare a variable of type integer. This is actually the name of the variable. इसमें आपके पास उस a variable वो नाम शो कर रहा है. When a compiler reads this line, he will go to RAM, he will occupy some space. By default it is system dependent, means system dependent that the size of this variable varies to computer to computer. If you have a 16-bit operating system, the size of this variable will be by default 2 bytes memory. An integer allocates 2 bytes memory in RAM. Compiler will assign a name to this variable, and the name of this variable will be A. So compiler basically declare this variable with type A, and we want to store हम इसमें वो स्टोर भी करना चाहते हैं, तो हम लिखेंगे कि A is equal to 20. These are basically two statements, two instructions to compiler. So here we declared a variable, then we assign this 20 to this variable. When compiler read this line, compiler will assign 20 and store this 20 at this locations. So this was the story how to declare an integer variable. We will study some of the concepts later on, but till this point you people have understand and you have studied that what is a variable. Variable is a name given to a memory location in RAM. As we discussed in the previous part, the types of data: integer, float, and character. In this case, we are taking the integer variable that is used to store integer data. The syntax of storing integer data in your program: first you have to declare the variable. For declaring a variable, you have to write the type of that variable, space followed by the name of that variable. Will come like this. The example: this is an integer variable presented with a keyword int followed by the name of A, and when the compiler reads this line, it basically went to RAM and store a variable with the name A, allocating 2 bytes. That is again I am saying that it's a system dependent size. The name of this location is A, and in the second line we assign this 20 value to this. This is basically assignment operator. That means that whatever the value on the right side should be assigned to the variable mentioned on the left side. So it is called an assignment operator. This was a brief review of this topic till this point. Still, if you have questions, if you have any query in your mind, you can ask in the comment section, as well as you can ask in the Q&A session that will be held inshallah in the next week. Now, moving towards the second type, it is float or real. Float variable, इसको real भी कहते हैं. और सिंपल अल्फाज में नंबर्स हैविंग अ डेसिमल पॉइंट, ऐसे नंबर्स के जिसमें आपके पास डेसिमल पॉइंट हो. So as in the previous part of the integer, like first you have to write the type of variable space the name of variable. Same is the syntax in this, and never forget the semicolon symbol. The type of, for example, a user is interested to store 2.5 in the memory. So what he has to do? He has to declare a variable, a float variable. As we know that a float variable stores the numbers having a decimal point, having mantissa. So for that I have to declare a float variable, float, and I would give you a space, and the name of that variable I have assigned b. Now I want to store 2.5 semicolon. So user is interested to store 2.5 in a program, so he has to declare that a variable float. This is actually a keyword, a predefined word, predefined to compiler. This is the name of the variable, and that is the value that a user is assigning to this variable. When the compiler reads this line, compiler goes to the RAM, allocates how much memory? Allocates 4 bytes memory. Allocates 4 bytes memory. 4 bytes of memory, and the name of this variable, उसको नाम भी दे देता है, और नाम इसका क्या है? b. Now in the second line it assigns this 2.5. This 2.5 is stored at this location. Hopefully आपको समझ आ रही होगी. Now the third type is character variable. वो बेसिकली अ करेक्टर वेरिएबल वो वेरिएबल होते हैं कि जिसमें हम अल्फाबेट्स या इस किस्म की चीजों को स्टोर करते हैं. याद रखें, इट्स अ बिट डिफरेंट. अ करेक्टर वेरिएबल कैन ओनली स्टोर a single character. ऐसा नहीं है. इस पे हम बात करेंगे कि इसका क्या मतलब है. R is a character, but if I am interested to store this entire name, it is not a character. It is a set of character. इसको हम आगे जाके आप स्ट्रिंग का नाम देंगे, लेकिन वो अभी इस लेवल की बात नहीं है. इसमें हम करंटली एक कैरेक्टर स्टोर कर सकते हैं. जिस तरह ये आपके सिंबल्स हैं, ये एक एक कैरेक्टर वेरिएबल में स्टोर हो सकते हैं. सो हाउ टू डिक्लेयर अ कैरेक्टर वेरिएबल? द सिंपल टाइप ऑफ वेरिएबल स्पेस द नेम ऑफ वेरिएबल नेम, द सेमीकोलन. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, the name I am interested to store R. So what I have to do? I have to declare a variable of type character, and the keyword for declaring a character variable is char, the character, and the name of that I assigned the name C. Now I want to store C is equal to R. Like I want to store R in a character variable, the same method as we used for integer and float. First you have to write the type of character, then followed by the variable name, like this. This is the keyword, predefined word. C is the name. When a compiler reads this line, it goes to RAM and it allocate 1 byte memory in RAM for storing this character. 1 byte memory, and the name of this variable is C, and in the second line we are assigning R, but this will not assign values, because if you are interested to store values or data into character variable, that must be enclosed in a single quotation mark, otherwise it will not store the value. This R must be enclosed in a single quotation mark. Now I have written this single quotation mark, so it will store R into this character variable C. And if you can say, lets me write in this, that you have a better understanding. Now it's so basically this was today's topic was regarding the types of data, the types of variables, how we can store our data into programs, what is the use of variables, and all of these. Still, if you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section, as well as you can ask in the live Q&A session. Hopefully you have understood the today's topic. For any query, use the comment section, and I would wait for your feedback कि आपको समझ आ रही है. So kindly, each student has to write at least one line feedback at the end of each lecture, that I should have a know-how that how your programming is evolving, आप लोग कैसा सीख रहे हैं. So till then, next time के लिए Allah Hafiz and goodbye.